Trinity War takes place in the pages of Justice League of America number 7. Previously, the 3 Justice Leagues reshuffled into 3 new teams with 3 different goals. Batman's team was able to interrogate Dr. Light in last week's Phantom Stranger number 11 tie-in, which V3 Comics also reviewed. In this issue, the team's members return from the afterlife with their quest being a failure. The group decides their next step should be to find Madame Xanadu. Superman's team is able to successfully track down Dr. Psycho. Believing him to be responsible for Superman's murder of Dr. Light, the group apprehends him. Using his telepathic powers, the Martian Manhunter is able to question him. They find that Dr. Psycho is not responsible, but working for the secret society. The Atom also reveals that she is a mole on the Justice League working for Amanda Waller. Superman's team then returns to Argus to confront Waller, but the Outsider already has a trap in place. He has Plastique detonate Dr. Light's body and use it as a bomb. In prison, Lex Luthor is listening to his lawyers while reading a news story on Superman's actions. He immediately knows that it is all a setup, but is mostly upset that he isn't doing the setting up. Suddenly, Pandora arrives and tries to get Lex Luthor to open the box. He has a dark heart. But before he can, Pandora is lassoed from behind by Wonder Woman. She and her team arrive looking for answers. Wonder Woman then grabs the object, exclaiming, "I have the box." But her success turns to horror as she then says, "And the box has me."
Another victim falls to the box, and this time it's Wonder Woman.
Now we definitively know that it's the box that's causing this change in our heroes, Superman specifically.
And they seem to know that the box isn't what it appears to be. It's something more sinister.
It's kind of surprising that her solution was to just grab the box.
Yeah. Why not tackle Lex Luthor from getting the box or something like that instead of just grabbing it out of his reach? Not very safe.
Yeah. I did like Wonder Woman's transformation, though. With both Superman and her, we see kind of like a third eye open on their forehead, but she had a pretty cool looking sword to go along with it.
Yeah, with the third eye, I kind of think of Despero, just because of Despero popped up in a recent Justice League issue before Trinity War started. So maybe we're going to see a bigger connection. Only time will tell how this is going to play out, but I do think that Wonder Woman being taken control of, being possessed, is going to be the new big issue that everyone has to deal with.
I think it'll draw all the teams back together.
I also think this is going to provide Lex Luthor with even more ammunition to, eventually take over in some way.
Yeah, he finally popped up in this issue. I kind of like how he is talking to all his lawyers, but not really listening to them, because he's just pissed that somebody else set up Superman.
Yeah.
Like, he knows it's a setup, but he's mad that it wasn't him.
It's obviously all leading into Forever Evil, and personally, I'm pretty pissed that at basically the second to last page or the third to last page was just an ad for Forever Evil in this comic.
And it corresponded to the page that had Wonder Woman changed by the box. I mean, I really try not to look at spoilers, but then when they do these sorts of things, it just really pisses me off.
I understand, reading about it in news articles, or there's something online and you go out of your way and you find it, or maybe it's in another issue or another comic, but when you're reading the series itself, and you basically are just told a spoiler of what's going to happen, I mean, it's not like we didn't know what was going to happen, but I think it's just cheesy.
Yeah, it just really takes the fun out of the event. But looking at some of the other players in this Trinity War, though, Superman's team, they actually track down Dr. Psycho. Complete dead ends.
It seems that everywhere they go right now is just dead ends.
They are getting pieces of the puzzle, because I guess that did give them some more insight into the secret society. Dr. Light explodes. I assume they're all going to survive that. And maybe that'll put them on the tail of the actual secret society.
I'm kind of surprised at how important Plastique has been. She's induced 2 very important explosions so far in this event. And the first one obviously being Madame Xanadu's explosion at the very beginning of Trinity War that sort of put her out of the picture. But now Batman's group seems to probably will be heading towards finding Madame Xanadu.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of my biggest problems with this issue, was just Batman's group in general. Because you would have had to read the Phantom Stranger tie-in to understand what actually happened. And other than that, other than recapping the Phantom Stranger tie-in, they didn't do shit this issue.
It's true, they didn't do much. I did like a couple of the lines they had. I really liked Flash saying, "Oh, Hal could have broken in there." Taking
when Simon Boz is having trouble getting in the house of mystery.
Exactly. I laughed really hard at that.
That's kind of a dick thing to say, though, because he doesn't know Simon Boz that well.
No, he apologized right afterward, but I thought it was just hilarious. Constantine not being there is just a constant reminder how we're not seeing the whole picture of who's going to be important in this.
Yeah, that was just a huge problem with this issue, in my opinion, is so many of, like, the mysteries I wanted to find out more about weren't in it. Shazam obviously seems like he's going to be a huge, important person in this event, and he was nowhere to be found in this issue. Constantine, who's one of the funner characters in the DC universe, nowhere to be found. The Outsider, whose mystery has been building all the way, well, since before Trinity War with, like, Justice League of America, he was barely in this issue, didn't really do much.
Taking a step back from Constantine, and you look at Constantine's team, which was Justice League Dark, it really just hasn't had much of an impact on this event so far.
Yeah, they really haven't done anything. They tagged along with Wonder Woman. They got no lines in this issue. Zatanna didn't even seem to be there. And another group that really disappointed me in this issue was the Trinity of Sin. The Question was the one who brought the Dr. Psycho theory to Superman, and he basically just admitted he was wrong in this issue.
That doesn't even bring up the fact that Phantom Stranger appears to be just completely out of this now.
Yeah, out of existence.
Exactly, so he's probably not going to be that big of a deal. At least Pandora, she's still integral in some way.
Well, she really disappointed me too, the fact that she goes to Lex Luthor because she goes, "You're the Darkest Heart," which if you actually read the Pandora tie-in issue, she first went to Vandal Savage, who she thought was Darkest of Heart. But not only does she go to Lex Luthor, she fails to hear an entire group led by Wonder Woman sneak up behind her and just gets chucked out. I mean, come on.
I think when you have such a large event like Trinity War, you can't really do justice to every character, every issue.
But then do you need to waste, like, 4 pages on Batman's team doing nothing? That's my point.
Well, okay, I could see that argument, especially because I do feel that those 4 pages, like you're talking about, really were just to sell their tie-in, which occurred last issue, or last week. And so I can see your argument there, but at the same time, you really can't expect every major character to be given as much justice as probably they deserve.
On that note, though, what would you give Justice League of America number 7 as a grade?
I'd give this issue a 3.5 out of 5. I think the issue did progress the storyline. We got a better idea how everything is going to fall into place, and it does continue to build up the Secret Society storyline, and so hopefully the last 2 issues will be pretty climactic.
I am going to disagree with you. I'm going to give it a 3, though. My expectations might be too high for this event. I just thought that the first 3 issues were significantly better than this one, and I didn't feel like the Secret Society mystery was built.
I think any mention of the Secret Society builds their mystery because you don't know much about them yet. It just builds anticipation.
I just wanted more.
Thanks for watching B3 Comics' review of Justice League of America number 7, Trinity War Part 4. Before we go, we have a question for you.
We want to know from you guys, which of the characters involved in Trinity War have impressed you the most, and which character has impressed you the least?
Even though it's mostly from a tie-in, I'm actually been really impressed with Shazam.
I'm going to go ahead and just say Wonder Woman. Kind of an easy answer.
Oh, yeah? Well, least, actually, I'm going to go with Batman, by far.
I agree with that. Batman has just been disappointing. We want to hear your guys' answer as well, so leave it below in the comments. And if you like our video, give us a thumbs up. Thanks!